Welcome to another episode of By the Railside Podcast. I'm your host, Zach. With me today, I got Jeff
That's me.
and Jordan.
The one and only.
Yes, we haven't found the other one.
Yet.
There is no other one. I made sure of it.
Ate them in the womb.
Nope. Not in the womb.
Ate them
Outside the
after
womb?
the womb.
I ate them and a womb.
You was it their womb or?
No.
Uh-oh.
That's not relevant.
Don't forget to follow us on twitch.tv/By the Railside and Twitter and Instagram. I swear to God, we'll post one day. Probably not. Actually, I posted like 2 seconds ago saying that I was live on Twitch. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you to all of our follower.
you're the real.
That's me.
You're the real one.
That's me.
It's true. It's not you. Not on Twitter.
No. I'm not on social media.
Twitter is a cesspool.
Social media is a cesspool.
Apparently, it's National Lesbian Day.
Yeah, I
And
know.
I was reading through the.
Always eat out your neighbor.
Yeah, I was reading through the things, and then there was like a post. It was like, "Hey, happy National Lesbian Day. I'm a lesbian. I want to buy this binder, but I need the funds on my card so that I can buy it because my parents won't let me have this binder." And then some really random dude commented on it, even though it's clearly a bot just fishing for money. He's like, "I've got extra binders I can give you." And I was like, "Oh, that's weird." And then I keep scrolling, and then I found another one that was another bot. It was like, "Hey, I'm a streamer, and I need funds for a new stream." He's like, "I got streaming equipment you can have."
It's the same guy?
Yeah, same guy.
The fuck?
It was awesome. Oh,
Just trying to be helpful. You fucking shoot him down.
he's a creepy dude. He's talking to bots. He can't even clue in that they're bots.
Maybe he's
Speaking
artistic.
Speaking of bots, the movie we reviewed this week is Avengers: Age of Ultron.
It's a pretty short age, honestly.
Yeah,
What, a week?
about that. But if you think about it, there was a bunch of them. So that's if you add them all together, it's a lot more.
I don't think that's how time works.
So math works.
Is it about the amount of time that he was alive or the amount of time he experienced? Because he
True.
experienced the same day like 640,000 times, or however many clones he made.
At least 12.
And also, he
Yep.
was like moonlighting on the internet, trolling on B.
Yeah.
It's a little inside joke for the 4chaners. They're all racist.
This one is the 15th. No, 13th. 13th. Lucky number 13 in our MCU watch through. And to tell us all about this movie, we're going to toss over to Jordan.
Do we have Joe Blunt 420 again?
We don't have a Blazer, but we do have Claudio Carvalho, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Ooh,
Sounds great.
exotic.
All right. So the Avengers raid a Hydra base in Sokovia, commanded by Strucker, and they retrieve Loki's scepter. They also discover that Strucker had been conducting experiments with the orphan twins Petro Maximoff, who has super speed, and Wanda Maximoff, who's weird. Tony Stark discovers an artificial intelligence in the scepter and convinces Bruce Banner to secretly help him transfer the AI to his Ultron defense system. However, the Ultron decides that it is necessary to annihilate mankind in order to save the planet, attacks the Avengers, and flees to Sokovia with the scepter. He builds an armature for self-protection and robots for his army and teams up with the twins. The Avengers go to Clint Barton's house to recover, but out of the blue, Nick Fury arrives and convinces them to fight against Ultron. Who will succeed? Now, spoiler alert, I know they made another movie, so I think it was the Avenger.
Age of Ultron
Yeah.
2.
Ooh.
You
Ugh.
forgot one.
Yeah. He does pop up again in the new TV series What If. Spoiler alerts. Great TV series and unreal anime. Not anime, animation.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You don't fuck that up.
No, my bad.
You'll get nerds and weeboos so mad.
Yo, they don't listen to this.
No one listens to this.
That's true. No, that's not true. We got at least 2 consistently. Hey, our one our Thor Dark World one on YouTube got like 12 views.
Shit.
Yeah. And average listen time and watch time was like 20 minutes.
Shit.
Yeah.
That means one person watched the whole thing in the background, and then 2 people shut it off after like 5 minutes.
Yeah. We take
But I'll
those.
take it.
Those are W's, as the
those.
streamers say.
Fat
That's
dubs.
a dub.
Yeah.
The dubs that Jeff and Zach take are wiener.
No. I'll
Yes.
let Jeff take. No, I'm not finishing that sentence.
Wiener?
He was gonna say my wiener because he meant like the ones divvied up for him, but then he realized that he'd be gay.
You can't think before you speak. That's not the kind of podcast we run.
There's very rare times where I actually get to think before I speak. And I enjoy those times because it does save me.
From being the big gay. So, what do you guys think that I think that you guys think that I think the movie was? That sentence didn't make sense.
Let's start with Jordan on this one.
I was gonna go low, but then I thought that Jeff would really resonate with Ultron's message, which is kill every human. So I think I'm gonna give it like a mid range, give it like a 5. The story was all right, but it wasn't really anything to write home about. You could kind of tell that like Chris Hemsworth wasn't really into it as Thor in this one. But yeah, I overall I think he agrees with the message, so I give it a little bit of a higher rating, just for that. Low because Ultron obviously, well, as you'll find out, he doesn't win.
Unlucky.
I'm gonna go a 5 as well. Definitely probably like the kill everyone plot. Lot more jokes and comedy in this one compared to action, so I think there's that. Some of them were a little bit forced and snuck in there. I don't know. I know I say love story every time, but I think this one didn't really have any addition to the plot. It was sort of just added in there to be in there. Maybe it continues on. We'll see the more development in the arc of those characters throughout the final films. But yeah, I'm gonna go with a 5 as well.
Now, Jeff, I want you to understand that if you don't pick a 5, we're both gonna look like assholes.
Yeah.
Which, if it was just Zach, I'd be okay with it.
Well, don't worry, because you guys are close.
Oh. Oh, we look like assholes.
Don't need my help for that.
That's true. I have developed that character very well. All right, what do you guys think of the effects and everything like that? I actually think there wasn't as much of the jump cuts in some of the action scenes in this one as compared to the other ones. So
I agree with you, but I think the reason is because they animated a whole lot more. I don't know if it was just me, but I found the animation was a lot more noticeable, especially in the fight scenes.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, it was fairly well done. I didn't have too many issues with it. Um, there was a few scenes where Vision kind of looked like a fucking action figure.
Which ones?
It was mainly at the end, like when they were fighting all of Ultron in Sokovia. I didn't write down specific times, but I just wrote down. I noticed it.
Yeah.
I thought there was. This is kind of effects and editing. There was a lot of really obvious green screening in this one, which I didn't notice as much in the other ones. But this one, like anytime they were flying a plane or like in a car or anything, it was just like obnoxiously obvious to me for some reason. Maybe I just my eyes were different or something. But yeah, the green screening was really standout in this one. When they did like the close up of Scarlet touching the Hulk's arm when she was like lullabying him or whatever, her hand didn't line up quite with the Hulk's flesh, and it looked really awkward because obviously he was like CGI'd in after, right? Uh, and there were certain panning shots, especially when they were doing like the big fucking towers and whatnot, like Stark Tower and whatnot, that the FPS was like awkwardly low. It was like the rest of the movie was in like fucking 40 FPS and that was in like 25, and I'm just like, what the why?
Yeah.
So I noticed quite a bit of that.
The one thing that really stuck out to me was when they were first coming back to Avengers Tower and the plane was like coming around the tower. It seemed like the plane was way too big
Yeah,
when it first came around, and I was like, that looks massive compared to that tower. And then it lands, and it's like, okay, it shrunk significantly. But when it first came around, I was like, that's that's a spaceship. That's not
it's
landing
gonna eat that tower.
yeah, like it did not look realistic, and that was one of the things that really bugged me in that one. I was just like, like for the most part, yeah, I could see like the green screen. A lot of it's like there was a lot of parts where it stuck out, but I liked the effects and the animation of like Ultron as well as his killer robots. They all looked cool, and then the slight differences between the robots. You could tell whenever Ultron was the one controlling that one because their eyes would go red instead of blue. I like that little change up there. But yeah, that tower scene fucking bugged me so much.
Wasn't Ultron controlling them all at the same time? Because when he was doing the his one villain speech to someone, I forget who it was. Might have just been the camera for all I know. He was talking about how the Avengers don't have like synergy or cohesion or something like that, and that's how he was going to win was that he had cohesion. He just like put his arm out and pointed towards all the other bots, and he said like, "I have cohesion." So I thought he was like controlling them all at once, and he's just like super AI kind of thing.
I think he was controlling them all at once, but he like I guess the main focus was always in red.
Yeah.
So like he could 100% control them all by himself, but if it was like I guess a speaking part, because I noticed like every time he had to talk to someone, like the eyes would light up red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think it's just like a computer having multiple things open at the same time. Like you can still have them open; they're still working. It's not the main focus at the moment.
Yeah. Did you notice there was one shot during one of the action scenes and Thor was just sideways even though he's standing on the ground?
uh,
It did.
It was just like one of their many jump cuts of a fight, and Thor was on the ground fighting, and but instead of having his feet below him, they had his feet on the ground to the right for some reason, and then he swung his hammer and whatnot. I really don't understand why they did that. They're just like, yep, we're gonna put this 1 2 second flash in of Thor sideways.
Thor can do whatever he wants.
he is the god of thunder.
True.
Um,
I found it with like this is kind of going with the editing. There was 3 different times in this movie where they spliced in a different line. or switched fucking mics or something. Because the first part of the sentence was in like one voice and quality, and then the second part of the sentence was in a completely different voice and quality. I had 17 minutes 20 seconds, 34 minutes 10 seconds, and 49 minutes 18 seconds.
Which what scenes were they?
The one that I remember offhand was when uh, Scarlet Witch went to like mind fuck Hawkeye. He said something. He said like I've done the mind control thing, and then it shifted like camera perspective. He said I'm not into it or something stupid like that. And the I'm not into it part was completely different than the I've done the whole mind control thing. And then there was one they were just like in the office talking and something was spliced in, and I honestly don't remember what the third one was, but I wrote it down, so I mean it must have happened.
Yeah. What did you guys now? One of the things that's I find super tough to get right for movies is anything that involves um, super speed. I don't know what it is, but there's just like unless you're going in the perspective of the actual person running and then slowing things down around them, watching someone else. Um, I didn't mind this one, but it's almost like the smoke trail he left, or like it was like residue. I'm not 100% sold on.
Yeah, like you said, it's really hard because if you have like full super speed, like say the Flash or this guy or whatever, it's just like he like shifts perspective suddenly, and then something like all the bullets are out of the gun, like he did to the one guy or whatever. And it's a lot less, not so much obvious, but just like it loses impact if suddenly he's just like in a different spot and things moved. Whereas if you can see like the trail he took to do it, then yeah. But what's his name? Is it just Quicksilver?
Yeah,
So maybe he does leave behind like a weird trail for some reason, because then that's why he got the name Quicksilver.
yeah. It could be that, but I don't know. I liked him better because they the reason why they had these two in the movie is because the rights to them are sort of they were like the gray area. So Fox had the rights to them as well because they owned at the time they owned the rights to the X-Men and mutants. And that's technically what they are. Really, in the comic books, they are the son and daughter of Magneto.
Oh yeah.
So in this one, they sort of that's why they called them enhanced. Really, they're mutants, but they called them enhanced throughout this one. And it says that the Mind Stone was the one that activated the powers. When you get to if you ever watched like the WandaVision show, you find out that Wanda actually already had these powers sort of latent, and then the Mind Stone just helped her see and become the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. I like how they've never had anything in the movies. They've never had anything like this before. Like there's been no just like generic super mutants like that. And then fucking Captain just gets run over by something he can't see. He's just like, there's an enhanced. It's like, one, what's an enhanced? Obviously, I know what an enhanced is, but how do you know what an enhanced is if you've never seen one before on the screen? And two, how do you know that? You just got hit by something you can't see. Why do you just assume it's an enhanced?
Yeah. What do you think, Jordan?
Sorry, I was just looking it up because I don't remember him ever being called Quicksilver. Like I know that's his name, like in the Marvel comics, but I was just trying to figure out because I was going to make a joke about him not being able to be called Quicksilver because he got unalived.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they ever said it in the movie either. I just knew that was his name.
Yeah, because she doesn't become Scarlet Witch until after they have the rights to the mutant stuff.
Yeah, they never said Scarlet Witch or anything either.
Yeah,
What even is her powers? Because she's like, she could mind fuck you, but also has telekinesis, but also can like do weird shit with technology sometimes. Is she just like a soft magic kind of thing that just does whatever they need a magic person to do at the time?
Uh, Go ahead, Jordan.
Well, I'm on the wiki, so she has psionics, which oh god, that's a very long thing. Uh, as a result of the exposure to the cosmic energies from the scepter, which contained the Mind Stone, Maximoff gained an array of psionic powers. So psionic energy manipulation, telekinesis, uh, disintegration. So I guess it's like destroying the mind. She can generate force fields. She can fly with it. Mental manipulation, telepathy as well. And then later on, in WandaVision, which I'm assuming is canon, she starts the process of becoming a sorceress.
Yeah, so she can basically just do whatever they need her to do.
Yeah, like I think they explained it a little bit, or they begun to explain it in WandaVision, but it's basically like she uses chaos magic, so whatever she thinks she can do.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly, Zach, you may correct me on that.
Yeah. So basically, with in the Marvel universe, there are like, well, you see with Doctor Strange, there's technically witches and wizards and magic users and stuff like that.
I don't know that yet. We haven't seen it.
It's been mentioned. Um, but yeah, so the Scarlet Witch, is like in their mythology the Chaos Bringer, which you see in WandaVision. She becomes this because she doesn't need to cast spells to use magic. She can just use magic and do whatever she wants, basically. And you see that later on, and she's gonna make a bigger appearance in the second Doctor Strange movie. But yeah, that's the one the other character that notices that is the witch in WandaVision. She points it out. She's like, "You're the Scarlet Witch," and Wanda's like, "Nah, fuck that. No, I'm not. Like, you're ridiculous. I can just do this because of this." But it's she can do everything or anything that she wants just because she is like magic incarnate, basically.
Hmm.
But she doesn't find that out yet. And for right now, she's going through
Yeah,
her like teen depresso phase, and
yeah.
then once she gets past that, she becomes uber powerful.
I mean, she's already pretty strong. She just kind of fucks up whatever she comes into contact with.
Yeah, technically, she's the strongest. I'm pretty sure the strongest Avenger, maybe tied with Captain Marvel. But yeah, I think come Endgame, it'll you kind of get to see her uh, come into her own with some of her powers.
Now, does she just like go full Avenger from here on out?
She tries. She definitely wants to be part of the team, um, and wants to do really well in everything. So it shows that throughout her journey through this, but then once you finish up the Endgame stuff and you jump into her TV show, the WandaVision show, you sort of see her become like almost flip and become heel.
Yeah, because like in this movie, Stark was half-assed responsible for the death of her parents, so she wanted Stark dead. And then what's his name? Ultron comes around, and she's like, "Okay, this is the bigger evil right now. We'll kill him because he's going to kill everyone." And then her brother dies to Ultron, which is also a creation of Stark. They kill Ultron, and then she's just like, "Yep, I'm going to be on the same team as Stark now. I'm going to be an Avenger." Like her bad blood towards him is just fucking gone, even though her entire family was killed by his creations.
Yeah, but you can't really blame the creator, right? Like if someone goes to McDonald's and then chokes to death on the hamburger, the cook isn't the one that gets in shit.
I mean, that was her whole arc for why she went and got powers and got experimented on.
Yeah, but I also think she was fairly young. So, like, I mean, they were kids when it happened. So they see the missile that destroyed their apartment building or their home. and killed their parents, and they see Stark plastered on it. Like, you're obviously going to hold a grudge for that. I think it was supposed to show growth in the character, um, but they didn't really do a good job because it was way too quick. I think it was like she definitely shouldn't have gone from fuck you guys to like I'm on the team. Um, but like you can see there's a little bit of apprehension before fuck
Hawkeye gives her the pep talk or whatever.
a little bit or before Vision really because like they don't trust each other, but she's like I can now see into Ultron's mind and see like what he's actually thinking, which
Yeah.
is murder everything. So she's like, well, we'll work together for now, and then I guess the relationship built after that. It's also I don't know how long, like at the very last scene when she's actually like shown as an Avenger. I don't know how long it was after Sokovia because I mean, Barton's wife had given birth at that point, right?
Hmm. Yeah, like the Stark missile thing, like he didn't fire the rocket, whatever. I can see her getting past that, but he is literally the reason that Ultron is around and killed fucking her brother and whatnot, right? Like Ultron was doing all this stuff just to fuck with Stark, basically, because he had a grudge against Daddy for whatever reason.
Yeah, but it also Ultron came more so from the Mind Stone.
Hmm.
So his development there, and then he added on, and he sort of just um, took the mission like more so literally. They're just like, hey, no, which I think was decent writing for the character and the development of the character being like, all right, like this is what you want me to do. This is the computer program you want me to make everyone safe, and then sees that the reason why everyone's not safe is because of everyone. So I think the malicious intent was more so from the Mind Stone, and then when Vision became, because he was part of the Mind Stone, I think there's a the connection starts between Wanda and Vision, which evolves later on. But I think after reading him, sort of was able to understand a little bit more, so that it wasn't fully Tony. Like it's still definitely some blame. Also, why is it only Tony? Bruce helped too.
Yeah, absolutely. But like her whole thing was against, like, she can be mad at Bruce all she wants. That's fine. But I'm just saying her whole arc before was just fuck Tony. I'm literally getting experimented on and getting superpowers to fight Tony. Up Ultron, now we're friends.
Yeah,
I think her arc was extremely accelerated to the point of being awful.
yeah. I think they should have done a better job of showing like how the relationship started or I guess built because I don't like I genuinely don't believe that it went from like she was just a switch was flipped and she was like okay we're friends now. I think it was just like we have to work together because you're
Mhm,
the
yeah,
Avengers.
yeah. Ultron's the bigger evil, 100% there. But like after Ultron's dealt with, in the movie, did they have any like lines towards each other?
No, but also at the end of the movie, like Stark wasn't really in the picture anymore. It was just Captain America and Black Widow training the new Avengers. So there's like it's a toss up in the air whether she is okay. Like it could just be like a work thing. They're not really buddy buddy or okay with each other. There's like this is the side I want to be on, and so Tony says he's like, nah, I'm gonna retire from this. Maybe I'll go build Pepper a farm, or something like that. And then it was more Captain America now does the more Avengers and mission style stuff. Tony might be somewhat involved, but it's more like if when they're avenging and going out in the real world, it's Cap that's leading that.
Yeah, I still don't like how her character just appears to do a 180. And if character development happened off screen, like in the year after Ultron or whatever the fuck happened, then that's just bad storytelling, right? Character development shouldn't happen off screen. Speaking of which, what? How did fucking Black Widow learn to tame Hulk? Did I miss something, or was that all off screen too?
I don't think it was all off screen. There was always a little bit of chemistry between the two when in the first Avengers, and then when she recruited him and stuff like that. So the chemistry was there, and so I think they was one of those things that they developed as a way to reduce it. But
I mean, chemistry between her and Bruce, maybe. I mean, I don't really see it there. She was sent there, sure, but she pulled a gun on him. Uh, but the Hulk's a completely different being, right? And I've never seen chemistry between those two before. And now she just knows some weird sunset thing, touch his arm, and he goes away. The sun's going down, or the sun's getting real low, or something. Like, that whole thing is completely unexplained, and like, what happened? Why? I don't care that she can do it. I just want to know the situation and how they came up with this and everything behind it. Like,
what do you think, Jordan,
But what?
about what Jeff's saying?
I mean, I don't really have an issue with it. I'm not a person that needs to like have everything explained. Like, I don't mind if they uh, leave some stuff. Like, because I'm assuming it's just in that time, um, they had to figure out a way. Like, because if they have a code green, they're gonna need the Hulk, so they have to figure out a way to calm him down. And maybe she was just the only one that can actually do it. Um, I'm trying to look up now
Yeah.
if there was anything ever, but it seems like the only references to it are this movie when it was introduced, and then in Thor.
Yeah, more just like maybe the Hulk would find her the least threatening of the bunch.
Yeah, it seems like it, and it seems like they've done it a few times because like when she did it early on in the movie, Hulk sort of turned around and freaked out, and then she like sort of got down. So it seemed like she was treating him like a wild animal, pretty much.
I mean, that's what he is, right?
Eh, now maybe but I think the character can expand.
The character can and definitely should expand, but it seems like everything that happens with the Hulk's character development happens off screen.
Yeah, that's
Because you still don't know for sure if Banner has much influence when he is in the Hulk form, right? Like, sometimes he's just a rampaging monster, other times he does what he's told, right? Like, everything with the Hulk is just like kind of questionable, and then whenever something changes with him, it was off screen. This Professor Hulk.
Yeah, although you got to see the difference in situations. Like when he's listening, it's not someone pissed him off to the point where he changed. It's like it was a willing change. So I guess that changes the situation a little bit because that he's not a giant rage monster at that point. He's just the Hulk.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, right? Because they never actually tell you anything about the Hulk. If it's not rage induced, does Banner have some sort of control over it? If it is rage induced, is it gone? Like, you never actually learn anything about the Hulk in any of these movies.
Yeah, but he's not really been a focus for the MCU because I mean like they had two failed well I don't want to say failed but two not well received versions of the Hulk, so maybe they just don't
Mm-hmm.
want to go over it again. And I mean most people have already seen that and know the Hulk, so you don't really need a huge backstory. um, I want to ask you a question, and I might come off as sounding like an asshole, and I want to make sure I'm not trying to be an asshole. What would you like, or what would you have done, I guess, to explain that? Like just a quick montage?
Well, I mean, if you're going to put something in like that, then I would love to know how they come up with it at all, right? Like, I don't know if a montage or like exposition or anything like that. Like, maybe if you don't want to do like an actual scene and show how it come across or something, do like a weird exposition dump maybe that later on is just like uh something about it's a good thing we figured out how to calm him down or something weird. Like I'm not a movie writer, so I don't know exactly like the wording for it, but just like explain things that happen if they're going to happen off screen.
Yeah, I think one of the toughest parts is what the fuck. It's has to do a lot with the rights issues amongst the characters. So there was that the sort of failed attempt at the of the Hulk with it when it came to Edward Norton. It definitely wasn't well received, but the rights for the Hulk are actually like for distributing, and I think the character itself is with um, Universal. So that's another reason why they haven't had that um, those scenes basically because there just isn't another movie. Sorry, because the arguing and stuff like that, it's just a lot harder to do with I guess Universal as compared to Sony.
I'm not saying you have to have a whole movie to explain one thing, right?
No, no, but that could be why they're just not putting that much effort into doing that. It's just sort of leaving it either up to the audiences to go with it or just explaining it as like just movie magic type deal. Because yeah, pretty much all those characters are all with Universal. They are partially shared, but it's all a big Universal thing, which makes it tough.
Yeah, I guess.
Because realistically, a Hulk movie with Ruffalo would be pretty good, and there are some decent Hulk villains that could go in there. But he's for the MCU because of that. He's always just going to be sort of just side character, and we can partially develop him, but we don't have to put too much thought into it.
Yeah, it's a shame because he's one of my favorites because he actually has flaws, right? He has kind of weaknesses where he can lose control and things go wrong.
I mean, well, this movie was another way to show that Tony definitely has weaknesses and shit can definitely go wrong when Tony fucks up.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
apparently Scarlett Johansson's weakness is she can't have kids and that makes her a monster.
Well, more the killing, being a trained and basically an assassin for the longest time.
I know that's what she meant, but that fucking speech made it seem like she was referencing the fact that she couldn't have kids and that's why she was a monster because that's what she was talking about, and then she's just like, so you're not the only monster.
Yeah, I could
Well,
see
not
it though.
Hollywood.
Yeah, I could see it though, because if you ever tell anyone that either you don't want kids or at like now, I'm not saying that she's young in this, but either you don't want kids or can't have kids, people look at you fucking weird.
It's because people are fucking stupid.
Yeah. They're like, what? What else is there in life? Well, my freedom? I don't know. But yeah, I didn't like that. Oh, so this movie was directed by Joss Whedon, who realistically probably won't do very well in Hollywood anymore after the whole Justice League um, scandal.
Oh, he's the cunt that let Amber Heard keep going?
No, no, that's just Warner
Oh, then,
Brothers, I think.
then what happened with Justice League?
So Zack Snyder was the one originally going to do the Justice League. He did Superman, and then he did Batman vs Superman, which Batman vs Superman was but still pretty decent. And then he started production on Justice League, and then his daughter either died or committed suicide, so him and his wife sort of backed out.
Still die if you commit suicide.
Yeah, yeah. But big family tragedy. So they took their time, and then Warner Brothers sort of just went like, "Hey, we're just gonna bring in a new director to help finish it," and then Joss Whedon basically made. Um, I, yeah, I think it's safe to say that Avengers again, but just with them. Like I know it's basically it's the same thing, like concept wise, heroes and teaming up and stuff like that. But they even had the similar scene. Jordan, I don't know you. I know Jeff hasn't seen it, but the scene where Bruce gets pulled over the bar and lands in Black Widow's tits, and then the scene where Flash is running around, falls down into Wonder Woman and lands in her tits.
He watches a lot of anime, does he?
I don't know, but it was the exact same thing. It was like that scene there. They got a double in for Wonder Woman because Gal Gadot was just like, "No, I refuse to do that scene. Like that is like it's disgusting." And I was just like, it just showed the similarities between the two. When the Schneider cut came out, yeah, it had its problems, but goddamn, it was if that was the movie that was supposed to be made, holy fuck, it was so much better. And then I think there was a bunch of other things that happened with Joss Whedon and harassment on set and shit. But
Oh,
yeah,
Hollywood things.
yeah, just
it's so weird because didn't he do the first Avengers too?
yes, he did.
The first Avengers was a decent movie, and obviously you guys can probably tell by the way I'm talking. This one just wasn't. It
Yeah,
was like completely. It seemed like a completely different director, but it's the same guy. He just took what he had made before and just shot it in the ass.
yeah, you definitely tell it's him because of I think the amount of humor in it.
Yeah,
That's one of his big things. People a lot of the times with this one they get really disappointed because you hear the name of the baddie in it, and so people are very much like I don't think Ultron in this one was like people were upset of how the way the character was treated because compared to the comic books. I like the this character now. I've never read any of the comic books, um, so I just have going off of what I see on screen and then what I Google for the next week after I watch it. Um, I liked how James Spader played this character. I liked the voice for it was good. Now they did um, Android up his voice a little bit, but his speeches were good. At it didn't do it now, but when I first saw it, his when he first gets introduced, he comes out in that crooked body or whatever, and
why did he choose that crooked body when there was other robots?
I don't know, maybe because it was the other ones. I don't know. He just had to hack into him, or he just wanted that one to like because it was all apart, so he sort of made it himself. Would be my guess. So
Maybe, I don't know.
so the other ones were ready to go, still made by Tony, and then that one was just all over the place. So he sort of pieced it together, so it was his coming out, I guess, as himself. But his speech at the end, and when he finally gets hit, and he says when he goes in, there are no more strings on me. For the first few times I watched that movie, it always like the way his voice was, that always gave me like goosebumps. It's such a good actor to play that guy.
I agree. Yeah, he was a he. I think he played the role phenomenally, especially when like Ultron got angry, and he like cut the guy's hand off. I thought like the tone shift in his voice, I thought was amazing.
Yeah. Now that scene actually had some rough effects. His little cheekbone areas, while he's there, his new body, those ones are like filled in with gears. But then when he's yelling at the guy, I don't know if those things just open up whenever he's mad to make him seem more intense. But that whole section in his cheek just disappeared, so you could see right through like he was in the first iteration of him.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was like he was gonna like fucking pull a Mandarin and like spit fire at him
Yeah,
because his throat did start to like glow, right?
yeah, and he does it like his laser beams out of his fingers are pretty good.
Why were all his like plasma beams like completely worthless? He shot well, and technically this one wasn't his. This was one of the like robots, but from the original spot. They shot I think it's War Machine in the chest, which knocked him out a window, and he dropped 50 feet. He was absolutely fine. And then when Doctor Cho or Chu or whatever her name was, uh, got cleansed by Scarlet Witch, he shot her and all the other fucking doctors in the chest. She was fine after that. Like she was sitting there in pain, but then she was just fine. Like he's supposed to be this super badass genocidal robot, and he can't even fucking kill a goddamn regular ass human.
Yeah, I think his laser beams are more just like the Stark, like the Iron Man blasts. So maybe it's just because that's who developed him. That's like all he knows for developing. Even though he's access to everything, but that's what his go-to is. Because Stark, when he hits people with that, they don't blow up or like they should. Definitely, if you take one of those things to the chest, like you should be like roasted. But I think maybe that's it. But yeah, he's for weapons wise, not the best. He also does hand-to-hand combat a lot.
Yeah, for a robot, and he never won any of them.
Dude,
He seemed like outside of his like weird big fucking bomb thing that was really really weird. Um, he did not seem threatening in the slightest. Like he talked about having cohesion, and that was his advantage against the Avengers. Did you see any part of the movie where those robots seem to have cohesion with each other? I can think of one, and it's when two of them work together to lift the truck box off the road. Other than that, they were all just mindless drones running at people one at a time. There was no cohesion or anything,
not enough RAM. You got to download more.
Yeah.
apparently.
Um, I didn't see the eyes on the ones when they took off with the truck. Were they red? Because I think that
No,
was the thing.
he was fighting with he was doing this weird standoff with Scarlett Johansson on a motorcycle at that point.
Yeah, and I think it was also weird. Like, why did he keep Black Widow alive?
Yeah, yeah, I had that down too. Like, Avengers are what's wrong with this. They're the only people that can stop me. I captured one, knocked her out. I'm just gonna put her in a fucking cell and monologue at her for a while.
That I thought was a ploy to like get the rest of the Avengers to come to him, so he could just wipe them all out.
I
Yeah.
mean, did were they just gonna go fishing or something if he didn't have Scarlett Johansson? Like,
Well,
Well, no, but
it's
it's like it's more of a because they didn't know where he was. The reason they found out where he was because Black Widow gave him the message, right?
but if he wanted them to come to him, he could have just sent them his coordinates.
yeah. I
I
also
wouldn't.
think it. Oh, go ahead, Jordan.
Well, I wouldn't trust that if I was an Avenger. I'd be like, no, it's probably a ploy or something.
Yeah, and I also think it's like I did think it was weird that he left her alive. Now but I also think that because he was sort of developed by Tony, he has that ego and that need to have an audience, almost like Loki in the first one. So the villain he needed someone there to know about his plans, and because um, Pietro and Wanda just sort of fucked off and left him after they found out what he was gonna do. He was just like, I'm just yoinking you. I'll put you in prison, and I just need someone there that I can communicate with. That's not my shitty robots and myself.
Yeah, it could have just been cockiness too, because like there was definitely more to him. Like it almost seemed like he wasn't an AI.
Yeah,
Even the first time he awoke, he was saying that he's like, this doesn't feel right. And he also asked Jarvis, he's like, where's your body? So that kind of signaled to me like he had or has a body, or he thinks he has a body.
Yeah, I didn't think he acted very robot-like, which as far as I know, he's supposed to be 100% robot, but he's trying to evolve into like a human robot hybrid, right? And that was the whole Vision body. Because like when he fucking was first talking to the twins, he a robot forgot the word for of children.
Yeah.
Like that was the stupidest thing I'd ever heard, and they did it for comedy reasons. They did a lot of stupid shit for comedy in this movie, but like you're a fucking robot. You don't forget words.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was just to make the I don't I don't think that a lot of people would go for it if it was just like that strictly robotness cuz then you're just like I don't
People
know.
fucking love the Terminator.
No, no, yeah, but that's the thing. It's sort of like its own franchise. I guess he wanted it to feel more um, relatable, I guess, to the crowd. And robots don't really feel emotion, and yet in this movie, he seemed like well, one, he like anger was very big for him. So I think that was more the fit to sort of make him more human like, so that they could describe his intentions more effectively.
I think it was also done to show, like, because he's not a robot. I don't even want to like. I hesitate to call him an AI because he's basically the Mind Stone, right? Like that's the Mind Stone's intelligence,
Yeah,
and that's what like it's because it's kind of hard to describe him because he wasn't created, right? Like he was pretty much born. No one knows why the 747th, I think, trial was the one that did it. And it was like, as Bruce said, like it looks like it's thinking, which I don't think. Well, we can't make AIs that think. I don't think.
Uh, I mean, we're getting close, but yeah. Yeah, that's it's hard to say, right? Because with they were using code from the Mind Stone, right? And genetic beings don't have code, right? So they call it genetic code, but it's not actually code.
Yeah, or did they call it or code? I know that like Jarvis said he was decoding something.
No, they said there was a code in the whatever was in the staff because they didn't know it was the thing at first, and then he showed Jarvis, and then he showed the Mind Stone one, and then that's when Bruce said it looks like it's thinking. That shouldn't be possible, or something like that.
yeah, because well, the Mind Stone does show like a whole bunch of um, not realities, but it broadens your knowledge because you saw that in the first one when Loki was just like taking people over. So maybe they just called it code as one of those science fiction things, which you hate. They're just kind of like
Yep.
giving it a purpose or giving it something that humans would think it would be, but just because they can't explain it outright. But yeah, because it definitely gives knowledge and it evolves your like you're still mind controlled by it, but evolves your brain into higher intelligence.
Yeah, I just find the humanization of him mixed with like the weird stupid things he says, and like the weird low power attacks he does really just made him seem like a very unthreatening villain. Other than like the big bomb thing that he was making, he didn't seem threatening in the slightest to me because he just seemed like a goofy metal robot to me.
Yeah, I wonder if that had to do with like the like base design that they had for him, which was basically like protect the world. Like he still realized, hey, like people are evolved and more so, and he was just like, no, people are the problem. All I want is metal in this world. But maybe that's what held him back is the fact that he was still like his basic programming was to protect in general, and that's why he didn't end up fully killing people whenever he would attack.
Don't know. Never explained. Why'd they have to go to a safe house?
They had to go
He's
somewhere.
safe.
Yeah, that where they couldn't be found.
Yeah, from what? Ultron
Ultron.
specifically?
Yeah.
But they had just basically beaten him there. Not beaten him, but the fight there, no one like they took the fucking head spaz thing from Wanda, but he didn't seem to be forming any threat from them.
He ended up getting the vibranium. They also had to hide from the world because Hulk went batshit on a full city, and then
Yeah,
Tony
it
took
said
it
there
out.
was no warrants out for his arrest.
It said yet, but it was very much still on the table. So they just needed a spot to lay low, regroup, and figure out what the fuck just happened to them. So that's why they called it a safe house. Keeps them off the radar of Ultron, but also they needed to regroup because majority of them got mind fucked and they were just out of it for the so. It's basically the same thing as returning to the tower, except they had to go off grid.
Everyone knows where the Stark Tower is.
Yeah. But I was really glad to see the introduction of um, the new characters though. Really liked Claw. Um, enjoyed Ultron. Wanda and Pietro. I wish they didn't kill off Pietro, but I get why they did it after learning more so of Wanda's arc. Um, Bringing in the old characters as well. You got War Machine there. Anthony Mackie makes an appearance as well, and then Vision um, comes out and he's dope as fuck. Paul Bettany's just a great actor in general, but actually having him transition into the Vision was pretty sweet.
Now, was that? Do you know if it was originally planned? Like when they were like, "Yeah, we need you to play Jarvis," and then in the back of their minds, they're like, "If the MCU takes off, though, you're gonna play a robot."
I don't think so. It wasn't originally planned. They sort of just brought him in. So there was an interview that he did where he just came off of doing like something really bad where he was basically like he was sure he wasn't gonna work again. And he was just like, "This sucks. Like I put so much time into this," and then John Favreau called him to come and do lines for Vision or for Jarvis, and that sort of reignited him. And then as it went on, they sort of developed the idea like, hey, if we bring in this character, um, would you? We could transition. We could actually have you in these movies. And Paul Bettany was like, absolutely. And I think the voice of Friday that took over for him is actually his wife, Jennifer Connelly. I'm pretty sure that's who it was.
I remember seeing an interview with him when he explained most of that. Can't remember what the project was, but yeah, he was basically told that his career was pretty much over, and then John Favreau called and he's like, "Yep, no, I'll take it. I don't care what it is. Fuck it."
Yeah. But yeah, he was good in it. Um, I like seeing Captain America sort of more in that leader role. So it's sort of just like, hey, you do here. You saw it in the development more of it where he was the leader in the Winter Soldier. But he really takes it on as like, hey, this is what we're doing. This is the right thing, and you see it later on, and once we get to Civil War, and the split because he feels that he knows what's best, almost.
They finally showed why his shield comes back to him. Only took like 5 movies with Captain America being in it, but they finally showed it.
That's new. That's all new. The other times he just calculates and catches.
It's like Rocket League. If you know where it's going, you can get it.
Yeah.
Why did the Sarkovians or the Russians or whoever the fuck they were, why'd they have the scepter? Because at the end of the first Avengers, wasn't it on the top of Stark's tower and then just like given to Shield?
So that was it was in there, and then obviously they clean up, and then Shield would have taken the scepter, and then you see in Captain America and the Winter Soldier that Shield is really Hydra. Like Hydra has a lot of it. So once everything dissolved, like that guy, I'm pretty sure was already working on the scepter, and then that's how it ended up there after
Was
the
he in Winter Soldier?
no, but
Okay, so
he says in when he catches him, he's like, Captain America goes, "Oh, it's Strucker, Hydra's #1 thug," and he's like, "Oh, technically, I'm a thug for Shield." So he was already working with them, but
yeah, so more off-camera stuff.
yeah, but yeah. So and then he was a pretty neat character. I love the humor when it came to that starting scene, um, where he's like no surrender. I'm going to surrender. And then when Stark flies in, this kills me every time I watch this movie. And I think Jordan finds it pretty funny too. When he flies in, he's like, "Come on, guys, let's talk." And then he shoots them all. He's like, "Good talk." He's like, "No, it wasn't."
Oh yeah, I always laugh at that part.
Yeah. Yeah, I know some of the humor in some of it seems forced, but it's one of those things that I think help differentiates between the Marvel stuff compared to DC, because DC's a much darker universe, where Marvel it can go dark, but a lot of the time it even has that humor in the comic books itself, and I like how they bring it to screen.
Yeah, 3 pieces of humor in this one that I absolutely hated was the child or the losing the word for children one. Cap saying "watch your language" to fucking Stark. He swore in other movies, and then he swore in this movie. Like, what was that all about? And the thing when he's asking the one chick, I forget her name, about the Russian twins, and she gives him the technical thing, and then he's just generally confused because he's an idiot. And she says he's fast and she's weird. How does she's weird help Captain America to plan against her? He's trying to get like not a full briefing, but just like half-ass information to see like, okay, well, how do we fight these things? It's just like she's weird. Thank you. That helped me.
I don't know. I guess it gets well. I can't speak apparently. It's it's hard to explain it to someone like that, like especially Cap. Like she knows all the technical terms and everything, but I don't think she can dumb it down. So she's like, I completely understand. Like, give me all the scientific terms, like the mental manipulation, whatever. Um, but then you're trying to explain it to someone who's like the most advanced piece of technology that he like had hands on with before he was in the Avengers was like a radio. Like he's obviously seen other things, but the most they didn't have the same technology and stuff. They didn't have the same knowledge of the world as we did or we do now. So I think instead of just trying to take the time to make sure he understands it, she's just like he has a general grasp of what she can do. So just she's weird. Avoid her. Don't fuck with her.
Yeah. Oh. This I actually just found this out today. When I was looking stuff up for this. So in the scene after Wanda fucks with Thor's mind, um, and he goes in there, uh, and he sees Heimdall. Heimdall actually says greets Thor as the first son of Odin, not firstborn. So that kind of throws like leads later on. It's almost like a little starting point for Thor Ragnarok, which I thought was pretty neat. After I learned that,
Wait, is Hela older than him or something?
yes,
Oh, okay. Did they say firstborn before in the other movies?
no, he was always
Oh,
just son of Odin.
oh okay.
But this one, it was almost like an emphasis.
Oh, okay.
It was the difference between the language of instead saying like
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
know. I didn't realize Hela was older than him, so I didn't understand where you were going with that. But yeah, I see what you're talking about now.
Other than that, yeah, I definitely I agree with you. What you said earlier, Jordan, about Hemsworth sort of feeling out of it for the character. Like he doesn't seem like the Thor from the first Thor movie or the first Avengers movie. He definitely seemed a little, I guess, more rigid in the character as compared to what we've seen before, and then what we see going further into the movies.
Yeah, like you compare the Dark World, this movie, and Thor Ragnarok, you could just it just he seems more into the role itself. And I don't know if that's because he got like more freedom in the role, and maybe his opinions were actually listened to. Because all the other ones, it's like no, Thor's like clean shaven and um, like has long hair, which I could imagine probably gets fucking annoying as shit.
Yeah, yeah, that mixed with the fucking um, oh, what the hell else? Oh yeah, just the heat and everything like that. They film a lot of it in Atlanta too, so just fucking dead. Other than that, the acting, I don't know. I don't like. I like realistically, I don't like Scarlett Johansson's acting in these movies. I enjoyed her in the Black Widow movie, but I don't know. Maybe I just don't like her as an actor too much.
They
Like,
just like took her role as an assassin and then just made her the woman in this movie.
yeah,
She had a couple action scenes, but overall it was just like, oh, love, I'm a monster because I can't bear children. Love. It's just like you could have done this with like any other character and it would have had the exact same impact. Why'd you choose Black Widow?
yeah, yeah. She seemed less badass.
Yeah.
Now, more emotion on her face compared to the Winter Soldier, which was a little bit better.
Yeah,
Less,
she got teared up when she said she couldn't have kids.
yeah,
That's the most important job in a woman's life, Jeff, according to Hollywood.
Yeah, apparently.
I hope the people that clip it after I said the whole sentence.
um,
I like how at the party that all the Avengers were at, she got uh, drink serving bitch duty too.
I
yeah,
think she was probably just making her. I thought that she was just making herself a drink,
and
and then Bruce just like sat down. She's like, "Well, I got enough of it for him too." Even though I think Bruce drinking is probably a very bad idea.
yeah. I want to know what that drink was though. It looked delicious.
The pomegranate smoothie.
There was no alcohol in it. It was just her booster juice.
Yeah.
You know, I loves me some shaken cranberry.
But yeah, other than that, like overall, I think it's a pretty decent movie. I really liked the characters in the acting was pretty good. The sets themselves and the like I like the city fight scenes. Um, but other than that, oh, and I really like the castle when and Tony's just like it just fits the character. He's just like please be secret door, please be secret door. He finds one, just yay.
Yeah.
Oh, Oh, and then for some of the little extras sprinkled in throughout the movie. Um, the main ones I noticed were when Cap was talking to Sam at the party, and he's just like, "Hey, like I could have invited you," and he's like, "No, I'm perfectly fine working on our uh, following cold paths to our missing persons case or something like that, cold leads um, regarding the Winter Soldier." Um, the Wakanda reference, which
Mhm.
is good. Apparently, in that little blurb on the screen there, it actually talks about T'Challa and the Black Panther in that little thing.
Oh yeah, I didn't pause it to read it.
Yeah, me neither. I just read it on the movie details subreddit thing, and I was just like, oh, that's kind of neat. And then I know it might be a little bit of a stretch, but um, when they were talking about like dissolving the team, and then Tony was just like, "That's the end game," and I was like, "Hey, the end game."
Hey,
Yeah, exactly.
Did you notice in Thor's like Wanda vision thing that he had when he was seeing the Infinity Stones float in space? The galaxy behind it basically formed into the shape of the glove that had the stones in it.
Ooh, I did not notice that.
Yeah. Also, this is another thing that bothered me. What the fuck was that pool of vision scene?
That was um, the Twitch hot tubs section.
Apparently, because he's just like, I gotta go find Doctor Sevig or whatever, for unknown reasons because he didn't actually appear to do anything. Then he takes him to some like weird pools that may or may not have been on Earth because it didn't show him go anywhere. And then he goes in it and gets his vision again, and then that's it. It's like, what the fuck were these pools? Why? Where are you? Why did you need Sevik? What is happening here?
Yeah,
well, Selvig does research on like the convergence, right? So maybe he just needed Selvig to be like, "Hey, calculate a point where I can fucking like get some universe juice going."
yeah, and he did while they were walking in there. It was like a little so like the pools of vision or what I forget what they were called. There's one on every realm, and I think maybe Selvig knew where they were, possibly because of the convergence, but also because he is Norwegian. Like Selvig's character is like from that part of the earth because he knew about the stories of Thor and everything like that. You learn that in the first Thor movie, so maybe as like a Norse mythology kind of guy, he that's why he went to him.
Oh yeah, actually, it could be that because he did say in the very first Thor movie that like the Thor stories, like he heard them at his childhood. So maybe this might have been like another off-screen thing, but maybe they like talked at the bar when they were getting fucking shit faced. Um, like he was just asking him, like, "Is this real? Did this actually happen?"
Yeah, that would have been interesting in like the first one. You talk and then ask him if you like, are the pools of vision real? Do they actually? What if they don't? The water spirits don't accept you, right? Like actually have information to this and not just like, because couldn't he just ask Heimdall and be like, "Yo, take me here"?
Could, but then he'd have to go off world and come back to it. And he's technically, I think, at this point, the strongest one. So I think if he went off world, he'd definitely be noticed leaving, and then Ultron would be like, "Hey, fuck you guys."
I again, they never state, but how long does it take Heimdall to move you around? Would it be faster or slower than Thor flying from wherever the fuck he was to wherever the fuck he's going?
Well, I would assume it'd be slower because he's got to like beam him up and then beam him back.
Yeah, but with the power of the Bifrost, I have no idea how fast the Bifrost moves you, so that's complete speculation, right?
Yeah, I don't know why. There, you might be able to calculate the speed because I think there is a scene in one of the other Thor movies where it shows them like in the Bifrost flying towards the Earth, and like it's not speed of light, it's not instant transmission. It would take a little bit of time. So depending on the distance, maybe it'd be faster to like Bifrost yourself home and then back. I don't know if you have to like switch it into like you have it put it into reverse, like a vacuum, like you have to suck and then blow.
Yeah, I've got no idea. Because he'd have to like go pick up Sevig, have Sevig either do the calculation or tell him take Sevig there again for unknown reasons. Because once he's there, why the fuck does he need Sevig? Then take Sevig back, then go back to wherever the fuck he was going. Turns out he goes back to fucking Hawkeye's house and they're gone. They already left, and now he has to go find them somewhere else.
Yeah.
I would love a scene with Thor, just like standing on the street, like looking around, and then someone calls a cab. He's like, "Oh, I could do that," and then she's like, "Heimdall." Oh, in deleted scenes, Thor was possessed by a Norn who answered Eric Selvig's questions through him. It doesn't say on this wiki how Selvig helped Thor, but it does say that he did.
Huh. So that was just more cut content that never actually made it to the movie, but they left one random scene in.
Yeah, I guess they definitely set up a lot of stuff, but then they're like, no, the studio's like, no, we can't have this because time crunch. So they just like choose, I guess, some of the least important stuff or like stuff that maybe not everyone would be like, well, why the fuck did this happen? Like, why did he need Selvig? So I'm assuming it's a studio thing because like the creators, like they filmed it, they wrote it, they want to put it in, or maybe it just the scene didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie felt very conflicted to me. But did you see the sponsors?
Beats.
Beats, Adidas, and Korean Airlines.
Hell yeah.
Also, shiny cup. I want one.
Yeah.
The flask thing that Thor had.
No, the shiny coffee cup that Tony drinks out of. I don't know why, but I like it.
Oh yeah.
I'd be horrified at the end of the cup of coffee. They'll be like, "Oh, delicious. Ah, gross."
All right. Do we have any final wrap ups before we get to our ratings? Any final comments?
Tony made a Hulk penis joke.
Yeah.
You guys better not be playing hide the zucchini.
They were talking about one of my mom's zucchinis, clearly.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah, the Hulk is fucking. He's packing schmeat.
I do have more, but I'm not going to bother. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, how much more? We got time.
It's mostly like bad physics. So. Like when Cap stops and throws his bike, and just stops on a dime and throws his bike, and when they crash the fucking ATV or not ATV Jeep at the beginning, and everyone comes flying out, but why am I calling it an ATV? The Jeep just stops, and Cap getting blasted straight up when he's in being pulled by a truck, but he doesn't fall backwards any. He just lands back on the truck, even though he's no longer just stupid physics shit like that. And the main one is that piece of Earth that Ultron was picking up was nowhere near big enough to cause a global extinction. So.
What if it was propelled? I don't know if he added force because like
you'd have to add more force than a fucking asteroid coming into our solar or our whatever the fuck it's called. I can't think right now. And that if it's possible, he took the most convoluted. Like he already took the most convoluted way to try and end the world, right? Like with all that shit, he could have just made bombs. Why'd he need everyone else's nuclear codes?
Yeah, I don't.
He wanted to throw a rock at them.
Especially like he 100% could have just like lit the fucking atmosphere. Oh, that's the word you're looking for.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, he could have just lit the atmosphere on fire, and then everything that's alive, except for him, would have been dead. So that the only things that would survive are like rocks and metal.
Yeah, and like he was in the internet. He can take control of machines at will. Why wouldn't he just take control of all the machines on the Earth and just kill the people?
If I was him, I would take control of the Toyota factory and come up with the brand new 2023 Toyota Tacoma.
Whoa, that's not
Six-wheel drive.
6-wheel drive. Jesus.
3 of them are on the top. I'm a robot. I can do what I want.
Did you ever see that Jeep prototype they had? That had 2 engines, one in the front, one in the back, so that it had like pure 4-wheel drive, and you could turn the tires so much that you could literally just sit and spin because each axle was powered by a different engine, and you could turn it so hard.
I want it. I'm just gonna make everyone that gets in my vehicle puke. Just fucking play Spin Me Right Round on repeat.
All right. Well, yeah, it's actually been a really good one, and I know it's about to get ruined by Jeff's rating. So let's get it over with. Jeff.
It's a 3.5.
Oh my god.
The villain seemed more like a kid with a gun than an actual like threatening villain. The love story was completely unnecessary, didn't go anywhere, and didn't add anything to the movie. Scarlett Johansson's character didn't add anything to the movie. Yeah, the bad jokes in it that were just like weird. The pacing in it was weird. They're like fighting in the ships, everything's like super crazy, and then they stop and cut to the like mind visions people are having, and everything's real slow and not tense, but like just real kind of relaxed and different. Then they cut back to people fighting and whatnot, and there's just this movie has so many inconsistencies and just bad writing, in my opinion, that if this one was put on over other Marvel movies even, I would be upset.
Someone puts this on, I'm fucking going home.
That's one of those times I just go to bed.
Walking around in like a Best Buy. Is that Age of Ultron?
All right, what do you think, Jordan?
I'm gonna give it a 6. I think this is one of the movies that I had the second most issues. The first is probably fucking Thor in the Dark World. But yeah, I think a 6 is an adequate rating. It's decent. I would watch it again, not soon though. Like if I was doing another MCU watch through, that's probably the only time I'd watch it, or if it was just on and I was bored. Some of the animation, it's like very, very obvious they're all on green screens, or it's just sometimes I think poorly done. But maybe it's just my astigmatism causing my viewing experience to be impeded. I disagree with the love story there, Jeff. I think it brought a lot to the table, such as my raging erection, and then my
That is a lot on the table.
yeah. Oh yeah, I had to clear off my desk. And then I cried because I'm alone.
I figured you would have passed out. All the blood going there. What
No,
movie
it was sort of
that?
like within 30 seconds. So it was like hard on, and then within 30 seconds I was crying.
Wasn't that a movie where the guy?
On in 60 seconds?
No, he every time he got an erection, he just like passed the fuck out. Fuck. I want to say not another teen movie. No, that guy just had a huge dong.
I looked it up and I'm getting
Hall
fucking
pass?
porno videos. Surprise erection. Search xnxx.com.
Was it Hall Pass? I searched movie passed out when he gets an erection, and the first one to come up was Hall Pass.
No, definitely not Hall Pass.
Oh, that came out this year. No, 2011, not 2021. Sorry.
You're a little bit off there.
It's got Owen Wilson in it. Wow.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna give this one a 7.5. I like the character itself, the acting in of Ultron. the fight scenes in this one, I guess probably because they were more animated than CGI than anything, didn't have as many jump cuts and everything like that. The new characters that got introduced, I love the humor in this one, just because it's just little shitty puns or goofy things. Definitely had needed some work in other areas, some explanations and stuff like that, and not just basically changing a character to fit a role. Kind of like what they did with Black Widow, where they just kind of just lost the fucking assassin and just made a bimbo.
She had fucking shock batons at some
Yeah.
point.
Just
She had
shock
shock
suit.
high heels this time.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I don't have a problem with them reducing her action role in this movie because I'm pretty sure at the time she was like pregnant, right?
Yeah.
So that's fine. It's just do something other than I am woman here. It's time for a love story. Do like fucking espionage or like stealth or anything else. Just don't reduce her to not having a superhero role.
Yeah. Yeah, just sort of, it really takes away from the actual character itself. But yeah, other than that, like I'll throw it on realistically just because I like James Spader as Ultron. But yeah, I honestly didn't even have like a ton of notes for this one. So that brings this one to a 5.7, which is it was almost our lowest rated. Thor: Dark
Yeah.
World beat it by 0.2.
What did the Hulk get?
6.
It got a 6? What
Yeah.
the fuck? Jesus.
I thought it was a good movie, and Zach has a crush on Edward Norton.
That's not true.
I seen the poster. It's
Right.
sticky.
I got a crush on Marvel. Marvel in general.
Yeah, this movie I had the most notes for because I was just angry at all of it.
And next up is going to be Jeff's
God.
second favorite movie, only behind the World of Warcraft movie.
I'm pretty sure it's just called Warcraft. Thank you. I have to
The
look that up.
canon World of Warcraft movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
and
Warcraft
Jeff Goldblum.
movie starring hot people like I don't know anyone that was in it. Hold on, I gotta bring up the Wikipedia
The
page.
guy
David
from
Lynn.
Vikings.
I don't know.
Jeffrey Bezos.
I don't think so. Travis Fimmel and Paula Patton. Oh, and Ben Foster.
Yeah. Oh, Ben Foster was in it? He's pretty good.
Yeah, he was Medivh. That's the only one that I knew.
Yeah. So join us next week for
I'm
Ant-Man.
so sorry.
A great movie where we're going to spend the first half hour where you're just going to have to listen to Jeff talk about everything he doesn't like while me and Jordan go get ice cream.
And then yell at him because there's no flaws in that movie. All the calculations are scientifically accurate.
Yeah.
Jeff's gonna stab me next time he sees me.
I'm gonna stab me next time I see me if I have to watch this movie again.
So yeah, join us next week. We'll be live on twitch.tv/bytherailside. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and then like us on Spotify, YouTube. You know the drill. If you make it this far, you know the drill.
If you make it this far, here's a little treat. Next time Jeff sees you, he'll give you a kiss.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
big fat one on the penis.
If you have one, bring one with you.
Bring a friend.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.
God.
Ski.